So Robert Lewandowski is assessing whether to extend at least a year on his contract with Barcelona or to move to the MSL club, any MSL club. I don't know which one. Man, if I was Robert Lewandowski, what would I do? I think I would not extend just for the betterment of myself, for the good of myself, and for the good of the club. What would I do? I would definitely move to the MSL club, right, and just take that huge paycheck and because it's not very demanding. Look, being at top clubs in Europe like Barcelona, Real Madrid, it's your potential is always going to be in demanding, right? People are always going to demand a lot more, regardless of your age, regardless of your prime, regardless of your form. They're always going to demand 110% for you. And especially this season, I feel like Lewandowski has gotten a lot of criticism from Barcelona fans, including me. He has gotten a lot of criticism, and rightfully so, saying because when you see a number of chances that is missed, is I think is in the top two, top three, together with Ferran Torres. So, me as if I were Barcelona's sporting director, what would I do? I would sell both Lewandowski and Ferran Torres, and I would buy at least two elite strikers who can help us up front. You know, with my goal, my vision being, you know, Julian Alvarez being my number one priority. So if I was a sporting director or the head coach or the president, I would sell Ferran Torres and Lower Lewandowski. Because when you look at a lot of we as Barcelona, we create a lot of chances from the wings, coming from the wings, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and from the midfield. And these guys are even missing the slightest of touches where you can just it's just a tapping and they usually miss it, and that has cost us a lot, a lot of games and a lot of points. He has cost us a lot, especially this season. So if I were the sporting director of Barcelona, if I was Deco, i would I would clearly sell Lewandowski and Ferran Torres. I mean, there are a lot of clubs that would pay at least 50 million for Ferran Torres. And I was checking on Julian Alvarez's release clause. I think it's ranging somewhere 60, 70. So you can usually like work something out. But I'm sorry to say this, Barca, Robert Lewandowski and Ferran Torres, they have to go. They really, really have to go, right? Um, we'll always be grateful to Lewandowski. I think he's engraved himself in Barcelona's hearts, and he's engraved himself in Barcelona's history because he was kind of like the anchor of this sort of renaissance, this rejuvenation that we're seeing right now, this current form that Barcelona is, that we are back to being a top club. Lewandowski was the forefront. He was like the Captain America. He was the forefront to that whole system. When he signed for Barcelona, in his first season, he won the Pichichi and we won the La Liga. So we'll always be grateful to Lewandowski. But it's time for him to go. Like, it's time for him to go, guys. It's time for him. We cannot rely on Lewandowski being our number one striker. We cannot rely on Ferran Torres being our number one striker. We just can't. We just cannot. Right? We need goals. We need that top striker. We need that. I feel like it's one of the missing parts in this whole system, this whole puzzle. We need at least a very, very elite and sharp striker or goal poacher, and we also need at least two defenders, right? Don't forget our team. We need at least two solid defenders. I think this something clicked in my mind when I was watching the Brazil versus France game. When you look at the Shams in the system, the way he uses Joas Kunde, he doesn't use Joas Kunde as a right back or a left back. He uses him as a central defender. So I was thinking that if I were the head coach, again, this is just me throwing my ball knowledge out there. Maybe I would try a system. I gotta say, our central midfield is a little bit solid. It's not all that solid. We have Pau Kobasi and we have Gerard Martin in that position, then I gotta say, Joao Cancelo is a much more better overlapping player. Is it he plays right wing, left wing than both Joao Conde and Alejandro Bade. He's much better in those positions, right? He's much more. So I was thinking maybe we can pivot Araujo, though we don't like him, Araujo, he likes to score goals. He likes to go forward. Maybe you can use him in those like back wings sort of stuff, and then you have João Cancelo on the other side, and then you can try the system of using Paul Kubasi and Joas Kunde, something like that. You should try to pivot, uh, something like that, because Joao Conte is like originally he's a central defender. He's not a right wing, a left back, or a right back. He's neither of those things. His original preferred position is central. So you can try that because France they're always using that like that, and they are solid. Joao Kunde together with Saliba instead. So that's it. Like Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, they gotta go. They gotta go, right? They have. When you are watching Ferran Torres, sometimes he plays like prime David Villa. Sometimes it's just like he plays like Ferran Torres, the way we expect him to play. Lewandowski, he's very clinical in goals, but again, injuries, his form has declined, he's aging. We can't rely on such players, right? Especially Ferran Torres is too inconsistency, right? It's too inconsistent. So that level of consistency, you can't rely that as your preferred central number nine, right? Lewandowski is aging. He's got fitness issues. His form is not the way he used to be like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. So we gotta sell those players in order to buy at least solid central number nines. If we have to fix a problem up front, we gotta do that. We gotta do that.